This is a presentation on the cultural aspects of learning. Learning about students' languages and cultures requires that teachers not only get information about each student's educational and personal background, but also to continue to gradually monitor their academic progress and behavior at school. When new students join the school, some things which a teacher needs to find out include where the student is from, what their primary language of learning is, what the primary language at home is, and the literary traditions in the home. At our school, we also use MAP testing, measure of academic progress, to assess the child's skills in reading, language usage, math, and science. In order to help new students adjust to their new learning environment, teachers can pair them up with other speakers of their primary language, enroll them in academic support classes in English and any other core support courses which the students may need, and monitor progress and document any concerns. It's also imperative that teachers communicate regularly with the school counselor and with the students' parents. For this project, we'll look at the school profile of the school where I work, the American School of Tangier in Tangier, Morocco. The American School of Tangier, known as AST, was envisioned as a school for children of U.S. Embassy staff and local expatriates. At the time, Tangier was the main city of an international zone located in northern Morocco and administered by several European powers. This added to the already rich diversity of language and cultures in Tangier. Sweeping political changes in Morocco during the 1950s and 60s had an enormous impact on the school. The school opened its doors to an increasing number of Moroccan students and continued to grow throughout the 1960s and 70s. Today, the school has over 400 students and 50 faculty members from dozens of ethnic and linguistic backgrounds. AST has a long tradition, starting with the founding of the school in 1950 by Omar Pound, son of the modernist poet Ezra Pound, of a commitment to instruction in English through an intensive study of literature. Most of AST's students, by the time they reach high school, have had nearly a decade of instruction in English as a second language, and have a solid understanding of the fundamentals of literary study, language usage, and composition. The multilingual nature of Morocco, the Tangier community in general, and AST in particular, provides a unique atmosphere for the study of literature. Nearly all students are fluent in at least 3 languages, and take classes in classical Arabic and French, where they are exposed to the rich literary traditions of Arab and Francophone cultures. AST's high school English curriculum is centered around the study of classical and contemporary American, British, and world prose, poetry, and drama, as well as nonfiction and informational text. English language and composition goals during high school include developing proficiency in close reading, understanding effective expository writing, building a rich vocabulary, and mastering research and the process of editing and revision. AST's goal is to guide students toward becoming critical thinkers, global citizens, lifelong learners, and to be well prepared to continue their education at top universities in the U.S., Europe, and around the world. Since most of the students at AST are Moroccan, it is important to understand the cultural attitudes towards education, particularly with regard to learning in English in Morocco. Morocco is a nation at a crossroads between Africa and Europe, the Arab world in the West, ancient traditions and cultures meeting globalization. This results in a richly diverse, multi-ethnic, multilingual society. However, the country's educational system has struggled to embrace Morocco's multilingual identity. The Arabization efforts from the 1960s to the 1990s attempted to eradicate the colonialist language of French from society and unite the multilingual population of Morocco under one language. But modern Standard Arabic, the language of state, including law, government, and news media, is so distinctly different from Moroccan Arabic dialect Darija that is nearly unintelligible to most of the population. This has resulted in a high rate of illiteracy and has stilted the growth of the Moroccan education. In the past 2 decades, the Moroccan government, led by an internationally educated king, Mohammed VI, has moved towards providing multilingual education in public schools. The cultural attitudes against French are the opposite with regard to English. Most Moroccans feel that English is a multi-purpose language which poses no threat to their national identity or culture. As a result, English is becoming more widespread in Moroccan schools and around the country. Now a look at the student backgrounds from our school, AST. Those who can afford it send their children to private schools, such as AST. The majority of our graduates go on to study at universities in the US, UK, and Europe. Most of the families who choose to enroll their children at AST are themselves multicultural and promote a love of learning in their children, engage in literacy activities at home, and communicate regularly with teachers and administration. Many students enroll at AST at the age of 3 and continue through graduation 15 years later. Those students who transfer to our school at the elementary, middle, and high school levels come from a wide range of backgrounds: Moroccan, Dutch, Spanish, German, Syrian, and yes, even some Americans. Because our school has such a rich tradition of diversity and celebrating multiculturalism, most new students adjust with relative ease. However, it is important for teachers to carefully monitor new students' progress and to create a sense of belonging in the classroom and the school overall, so that they are adjusting well, academically, socially, and emotionally. Here are some recommendations. When new students enter our school, even those who come from other educational systems such as Spanish, French, or Moroccan, because of the attitudes towards English and the move towards English education in schools here, most of these students have at least some understanding of English when they arrive at AST. Unfortunately, however, we don't have any remedial English program in place beyond the elementary level. This is a need which we must fulfill. This year, AST is creating academic support classes in all subjects, with an emphasis on English language support in middle school and academic writing support in high school. The diversity of our student population is something which AST celebrates and is a reflection of the multicultural openness of the wider community. Adding more students from diverse backgrounds helps our diversity grow even more. Some of the implications in this study. Student learning doesn't occur only at school. It begins and continues in the home. Therefore, it is important to encourage parents to provide and promote literacy activities with their children at home. Children who have a supportive literacy environment at home better develop their reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills, and develop independent learning skills. And children who learn literacy skills at home have a head start when they come to school. Therefore, it is important that teachers connect with parents and encourage them to support literacy at home. As for my own learning and teaching style, I've been teaching internationally for 12 years, 10 of which were spent in multicultural, multilingual schools. However, I find that I still have a lot to learn about my students and about my teaching. After reading the assigned text for this week, I've learned about English learner program models, which would be appropriate to implement at my school. I'll also work with my colleagues to create a newcomer program with the goal of helping new students who are weak in English to be given specific language support, and then help them to transition gradually into regular classes. I'm also interested, because I work in a school which has the majority of the students as ELLs, English language learners. I'm interested in organizing support for non-ELLs, since they're the minority, such as students who have transferred from an American educational system. They're the ones who have a need at my school. I want to make sure that their specific needs as learners are met so that they don't fall behind or feel left out. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.